Hello, everyone. This is Henry or Kami, and I am here with Louie Ruiz, who tell us about what you did this past weekend.
Um, how's it going? This past weekend, I went to Providence for a regional, and I placed in the top four. Came in third overall, and I played uh, pure canine.
Alrighty. Would you like to get started with the deck list here?
Sure. All right. So to start off with, canine, the canine monsters, we have one Jokel, uh, two Lupus, uh, three Azuna, three Naroi, and three lanterns. So almost, if I played one more Lupus, I would have played the full K9 names. Um, but this was the count for all the K9s.
Very interesting. What was the decision making behind three lanterns since most lists only play one?
Well, so a lot of times in my matches when if I was going first, uh, if my opponent had uh, let's say a charming, uh, most times I would see my opponent activate that in a draw phase, which then kind of helped me counter. If I just opened the lantern, well, then at least I could get the lantern now and go for the case, which allowed to open up the game a little bit more, just because my opponent interacted with me and therefore opened up that door. So a good amount of time that was the case. Other times, if Lantern was the only thing I drew, then chances are I probably drew into other cards that helped me stay in the game. And at the minimum, I could have used the Lantern for the case, which would add me the Azuna, which hopefully would keep me in the game long enough for it to come back to my turn.
I see. So,
Um,
so overall, it was sort of like a way to mitigate case being hit to one.
right, yes. Yes,
Alrighty.
alongside with adding having the option of adding other K9 spells in the deck, which I'll get into.
Alrighty. Let's
Um,
take a look at those. Why don't we?
so for the one-ofs that I have in here that are not hand traps, there are only
Okay.
two. So I ran one Therion King Regulus
Okay.
and one Disablaster, the Negation Fortress.
Okay.
Uh, so the Regulus was kind of like a is my Omni-negate, and I think that's a really good one this format, because cards like Forbidden Droplet is very popular, and so is Crown, and it was beneficial to have a monster that will allow me to negate and no longer be on the field when I did activate it, so that it wouldn't essentially get stopped unless it was something uh, like a Call by the Grave, something of that nature.
So basically, it
Um,
it forces board breakers preemptively.
right, yes.
Very nice. Very
Uh,
interesting theory behind that. That is very nice to see.
as far as the Disablaster, it is a body. It's a level 5 monster that I can, if I open up with it, can put out on the field. However, uh, one thing I did get to utilize from it was uh, a part of one of my end boards. Uh, I would always leave Disablaster under an EMZ zone while I took up the other half. This came up in, for example, yummy matchups. Uh, so if I had, for example, if I had this out, it would be, and say something else in the EMZ zone. Um, Anything that comes in this side, obviously, like with this card's effect, any effects that are activated in this column would be negated, or any column that it is under or is on would be negated.
Yep.
So that was a good part of the effect to utilize, which I did get to utilize a few times throughout the rounds.
Alrighty.
On to hand traps. So for hand traps, I played uh, 2 drone lockbirds,
Yep.
2 bell,
Okay.
2 effect veiler,
Okay.
3 ash,
Okay.
3 Fualos,
Okay.
and 3 Imperm.
So a very healthy lineup of hand traps.
Yes. I will
Nothing-
say that
Nothing really out of place with the format. Interesting.
yeah, I will say that in a prior build I did run 3 bell and 3 veiler. However, after doing more testing, I felt like the ratio needed to change. And once I did this change, I started to see a much healthier ratio of hands that I would open up, where I would have a variety versus too many hand traps or too much of engine.
I see.
For the spells, the one-ofs, 1 K9X Force Release, 1 K9 LC Release Restraint, 1 Case for K9,
Yep.
1 Called by the Grave, and 1 Pot of Prosperity.
Alrighty.
I had 3 7th Tachyons and 3 Chaotic Elements.
Okay.
So, as you already know, it is a pure K9 list. So, for me, I felt like I really only had 2 bricks, which were the quick plays. However, cards like 7th Tachyon would allow me to, let's say, put this card back on top, knowing that I'll still be able to set it or add it. This card really helped a lot in the sense of being easy to choose, like cards that don't need to remain in my hand, back into and I could just put it right back into the deck, and then search it out later or set it out later.
I see. Very interesting.
Chaotic. Both of these also is like, obviously, chaotic elements lead me to the Lantern or the Jokel, but so does 7th Tachyon, and in addition, it can actually lead me to all 4, which I'll show the reason why once I get into the extra deck.
Nice.
But it is searchable. I'm sure everyone knows by now. And then what I liked about this release restraint is because what I really like about it is that I can actually utilize it on any rank 5 XYZ monster. It doesn't have to be a K9 name, like the Force Release. And also, in addition to that, I do not have to activate it in the main phase. I could choose to activate it during any phase. So this was utilized a lot, and it actually helped me win a majority of my games.
Nice. Let's take a look at your extract then and see what it's going into.
All right. So we have Zeus.
Yep.
And also the Sky Crisis. We have the mesh package right here, and this is a package to me because I actually got to use this as like a package essentially throughout the day. I ran the 2 Nash Knights, the 1 CXYZ Nash Knight, And then for the number XYZs, I ran the C106, C104, and the C107 Galaxy Tachyon Dragon. Um, I was actually able to use Nesh Knight's effect to to attach monsters to it 3 times, which was really cool. That I actually got to resolve 3 times. Part of the reason
Nice.
was bringing out Nesh Knight turn 0. Um, that was something that it was really cool to pull off. Most times, the more popular plays to go into Sky Crisis in turn 0. But if you have the Azuna and you're able to just not worry about the outcome of the end board and you just want to leave out the Nesh Knight, you could do so with the Lupus underneath it, which would make it untargetable. And then it opens up another cool play, which if it does come to you, I actually got to do this a couple of times, where I ranked up right away and then used the effect to rank up again and actually brought out the Galaxy Dragon, the Tachyon Dragon. And then since I haven't done anything, this would be pretty much the first effect I would try to activate and then turn off everything on board. It was really cool to pull off. Essentially, I was trying to use this for like maybe decks like Lunalight, but it turned out to work for a variety of other decks, which was really cool. The 106 and the 104 with 104 gets me is either Joko or Lantern. And
Yep.
then the 106, this is with Tachyon, 7 Tachyon.
Yep.
And then the 106 Red Hand, this will get me either Zuna or Noroi. So
Okay.
that's what I mean, that 7 Tachyon was able to allow me to get all 4 as an option if I wanted.
Nice.
So yeah, and then oh yeah, and then in addition, if I did bring this out, this would also not be targetable if I never used Nash Knight's effect and just left the Lupus underneath.
I see.
That was pretty cool.
What were our other flex spots in the extra deck?
Let's see. So the rest of the extra deck, I have Inferno Track River Stormer.
Gets you to
This allowed me
Regulus.
to get to the Regulus.
Yep.
And also, if I opened up the Regulus, it wouldn't change anything. I would still place this. I would still summon this and not add, but dump or send to the graveyard the Noroi. So
So
therefore, I
that
would
way it
still
gives
be
you a
able
target
to.
for Lantern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And part of the end board going first, I actually got to utilize this more than just getting Regulus or dumping a machine that I needed, but returning back to this card, it allowed me to use it on this to bring out another essential piece to what helped me win majority of my games throughout the tournament.
Alrighty. Very nice.
So now we have the K9s. All right, so we have K9X Ripper M.
How was Ripper M? I've seen a lot of people go very back and forth on this card. How did it perform for you?
Ripper M was great. It was an essential piece. I never had to use the monster negate effect to destroy the board. Essentially, what I utilized it more for was when it's summoned by the effect of a quick play. I believe it said I can return up to 2 cards in my opponent's graveyard back to the deck and shuffle it back to the deck. So this actually came up more than a few times. Most notably, like for me, it was Blue Eyes matchup, where I actually played the release and summoned the Ripper and I destroyed a one of their monsters, which essentially triggered one of their effects in the graveyard. And because my opponent was a turn player, his triggers went off first. And to be more specific, it was the Jet Dragon that's able to special summon itself back from the graveyard that activated. And therefore, then after that, I chained the Ripper and returned it back to the deck. And it was a very, it was really good because I was able to capitalize and then take back control of the game and win, and ultimately win the game. So it did help me out. Um, so yeah, also I got to play the Jacks.
Nice.
I played 2 Rippers, and I played 2 Werewolves.
Did the second
So
werewolf come up for you at all?
yes, it came up multiple times. Um, a card that you saw earlier I play is Pot of Prosperity. So when I played it, it was utilized in that way where I just was able to remove one and then play a little conservative and made sure that I didn't waste the second one or brought it out too soon or anything, because it did help me win games. Um, Secondly, the werewolf, whenever I did go first, it was part of my end board every single time. And this is the monster that was always in the EMZ zone. And and there was actually, because of this card, I actually made a pretty good, um, not play, but I kind of put a very tough position for certain matchups.
I see.
And what I mean is, uh, because this was on the end board, let's say against a Typhoon matchup, mystical, yeah, Typhoon matchup. Um, from what I've noticed in the format, uh, the deck likes to play quick plays in the draw phase, and it allows them to play around the draw, which is really good. But because Werewolf can look at their hand, can look at your hand and remove a card until the end of the turn when they activate anything, a lot of players may be reluctant to do so and then might just go straight into the main phase. Uh, th- and then perhaps set what they don't want me to see. And then we can go back to this card where it can get utilized a little bit better versus getting MST right in the draw phase. Um, and then also it makes my draw more effective that I play in the main deck because now I have forced the game to go into the main phase simply because this card is a threat uh, to give me knowledge and to take away an essential piece that they may need.
Very
Um,
interesting.
so that was a strategy that I did get to utilize. It was always something that was maybe not said, but it was always there. I knew there was the awareness was always there, because players very quickly figured out, okay, I'm going to set, I'm not going to reveal this, I'm going to use this later. And so I worked that into my advantage. So yeah, that's why I really like this card. Also, playing the second one was effective because like I mentioned before, Droplet was uh, very popular. Um, and because of Droplet, even including in my last round playing, it came up and it turned off the werewolf because I was able to rank up into another one, not using the werewolf, but normally I would have Ripper out uh,
Yeah,
with the werewolf. Um, I can then I can put that threat out right away again in that and have that my opponent face that same scenario, that same threat again. And it
I
was very
see.
effective because once Droplet is played, I do feel like with some matchups or with some decks that may be utilizing it, the more cards that you would have to give up essentially the weaker a hand would get. I would always use that as a rule of thumb. So now if you narrow your hand, if you're unable to like chain it, let's say with or pair it with another card, it makes this card even more effective because it makes that again things more narrow and yeah, this is and then not to mention if it does come back to my turn, this does have other effects that I did get to utilize. I got to utilize all three effects.
Wonderful.
On my own turn, I can, if my opponent does activate an effect, if it's my turn, not my opponent's turn, I can banish a card on the field and in the graveyard.
Yep.
And then,
What did we
and
have?
the,
What did we have in the side deck here?
oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
It's, for the side deck, we had 3 Perulia, 3 Retaliating Sea, 2 spell card Soul Exchange.
Please give us a little insight on why you chose this card.
So this card, if you're not a pure canine player, uh, one of the hardest matchups you'll find out very quickly would be like Typhoon or anything that specifically that because they don't have to end with any cards in hand, they can set everything. So when you're playing a deck that's reliant on your opponent to have at least 2 cards in their hand, once it's figured out, it becomes really difficult. And this card became such a great tool because one, it not only does not waste your normal summon, you contribute your opponent's monster. And not only that, as I go further into the side deck, I was able to tribute summon like for a monster that required 2 monsters. And a couple of times I had the ability to tribute 2 of my opponent's monsters away to summon out something. And then of course, summoning out any a canine like Jokel or a Lantern, great, because it's just more fuel, I guess. The more you have to place on board body after body, it just will lead to like more opening, like more I guess like for the game to open up more. Um, Specifically for this match, for this card, I definitely like using it against the Typhoon. Uh, the Luna Light, which I did face one Luna Light player.
Yep.
Um, and whew, I mean, it's just really good against anything that's gonna place something on board that's gonna be troublesome. So I would just put this as a very good universal card in this deck. Very good because, again, it's once you get bodies established on board, things really do open up. And again, the key thing is if you start. Another key thing for this is if you start off with this with no monsters on board, um, your opponent cannot tribute the monster you summon. So if they did have anything to, because that card does allow your opponent to, in return, do the same. If you don't have anything out, then essentially it was free. You didn't have to worry about having another body on board. You could use it right away. Um, and then this is actually one of the cards that was really good to pair up with that I'm going to bring up, Pankratops. Um, It's a level 7. So again, this was one of the cards that I was able to activate the Soul Exchange, spell card Soul Exchange, and then summon this.
That's
Um,
awesome.
in one of my scenarios, I did get to, it was pretty cool actually, uh, special summon the Pankratops. Then I activated the spell card Soul Exchange, and then I chained the Pankratops so that this monster wouldn't be on board on resolution. and then tribute 2 monsters, and then special summon the Percatops. That was pretty cool. Or not special summon, but summon the
Yeah.
Percatops, or tribute summoned it. That was pretty cool. And then after that, it was just my normal canine plays. Banker Tops also helped against, if again, it was to be prepared for the Typhoon matchup, but
Yeah.
also Draco Tail or Yummy. Uh, most decks, I think, have back row as a threat, and this is just a really good card. Again, also just like the King Regulus, it plays around anything that if it were to stay on field like a droplet, it can't be stopped by that.
Yeah.
So it was an overall all around great card.
Nice.
Uh, I played 2 Nibiru's. Uh, Nibiru I did not get to use in the traditional sense, but it
You
came up
summoned it off
with
of Solex.
yes.
Oh.
It came up more times with even when I had the ability to use Nibiru, because I had this in hand, I just elected not to do so just because I knew that it would have been more effective. Excuse me. I knew it would have been more effective to just tribute summon 2 of their end board monsters and bringing this out.
That is
So
very
yeah,
funny.
and so yeah, I mean, I just initially played this because I would say like Christian K9 or Banker Soul K9. I really had those decks in mind for this when I was thinking about playing this, but then as I was playing and it just kept coming up and I just kept taking advantage of it.
Nice.
Um,
And what was the last card on your
so
side?
the last 3 cards, Solemn Judgment,
Okay.
Crossout Designator,
Okay.
and Triple Tactic. All 3 came up. All 3 I was able to use. In this uh, for this card, for the Crossout Designator, it was just a personal choice. I wanted to, when I cited, if I was going second, or I'm sorry, if I was going first, and I was citing this in, I would put in the Perulia. This to me was the biggest threat, uh, just because it just gave the opponent the most, I would say. Uh, if I got Fualos, I felt like with this build, I had a better half board to create in allowing my opponent to have maybe only 1 to 2. But with Perulia, it's a much stronger card against any K9 variant. And then I actually did have it in hand while having just the 1 in the deck. It worked out. It was great. It also came up for other hand traps, Ash, Bell, and Perm. Um, so yeah, this was, again, it was just not everybody has to choose to do that. But for me,
Yep.
I gambled and I said, you know what, I'd rather draw this and this if and not give myself the chance to have it than need it and not have it, whatever, however you want to see it. The tactic was great. It actually won me a couple of games. And Solemn is just great on its own. Whenever I did see it, um, most games didn't last very long after I played it. It was just timing it right,
It's limited to one
and it was
for
a
a
great. It was
reason.
just yes, limited to 1 for a reason.
Do you
Yes.
have do you have any shout outs, anyone in particular you'd like to call out to before we wrap this up?
Yeah. My test group. Marshall D, Vince Hopkins, Conrad White, Taz, Henry. Uh, yeah, like these are the people I test with the most, and they definitely are a good test group. And yeah, we're growing, getting better. This was a good feeling to get this top, and yeah, hopefully there's more.
Awesome.
So
Great to hear. Well, thank you very much for doing this deck profile with me. Congratulations on your top. It sounds like it was a very fun experience, and I hope to see more from you in the future.
Thank you, and I hope so too.
Alrighty. Have a good one.